So at this point, because I'd already won about 3 games off stream that were, you know, not too difficult. The last roadblock in pools was well, I was expecting a different match than what I got here. I was theory crafting the bracket, and I was assuming that I was going to have to go up against Itazan, because I hadn't really studied the other side of the bracket in too much detail, but Itazan was the like main seeded player on the other side. So I was sort of mentally planning for either Oro versus Geef or Oro versus G, one of the two. That didn't end up happening because Itazan lost to Hikaru, who I wasn't aware of. I've got to be honest, I don't know that much about Hikaru, but I think Hikaru is also known as Shiftney, high-ranking poison and also birdie player. But I didn't know any of this at the time. So they told me my match was up, but it wasn't against who I was expecting. It was against Hikaru. And so Hikaru made an interesting choice here. I didn't know what characters Hikaru played. All I knew was that he played Poison. I didn't even know that he was Poison and Birdie. So I was like, oh, this is going to be really rough. Poison kind of shits on Oro. This is going to be a really difficult match. So when we get to the character select screen and he readies up on Birdie, I was like, you can't see it in my face there because I'm very like stoic at tournaments when I'm up on stream. But if you could hear my inner dialogue, I would have been like, pick Birdie, pick Birdie, pick Birdie, pick Birdie, pick Birdie. I was like mentally trying to will him to pick to lock in with the Birdie once I saw him hover over Birdie on the character select screen. Because, I mean, Oro, I think, actually loses both matchups, but it's such a difference. Like, I think Birdie has a slight advantage against Oro, and I think Poison puts Oro into a shallow grave by comparison. So anyway, game 1, I see the Birdie pick, and I'm already like, oh, yes, this is the best case possible. He brings out the V-Skill too with Birdie, which I've got quite a lot of experience in this situation, because Veggie uses V-Skill 2 in this matchup. So I've played V-Skill 2 Birdie quite a lot, and the important thing about this is that I know that Birdie players like to use the bubblegum in order to kind of disrupt Oro's zoning pattern. So you know when I throw like Fireball, V-Skill, Fireball, V-Skill, Fireball to maintain like a barrage of projectiles, V-Skill 2 Birdie players like to put the bubblegum up into the sky to try and disrupt that pattern. And I know that from playing Veggie a lot, so I was ready for the counter to that counter when I went into this matchup. I was looking out for the V-Skill 2 punishes.
Broski's played Veggie a fair bit. He thinks Veggie has a good handle on the matchup as well. Okay.
You see, Broski should have plenty of experience up against these characters. Ooh, Hikaru already threatening with the chain. Like that is overall the mental stack early, make him think about something.
So yeah, I get the zoning set up here. He sets up the V-Skill too, and you'll see. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. If I had just gone for my ordinary zoning pattern here, if I had thrown the low Fireball, he would have just bullhorned through the V-Skill, and then ended up pretty close to me, and we would have been like, I would have been in a bad situation. But I knew what he was doing here, so I actually throw the high Fireball specifically to wipe out the bubblegum, so that the only projectile left on the screen is my V-Skill, and then when he whiffs the bullhorn through the V-Skill, I can meet Birdie in the middle of the screen and punish. So it's kind of there's a lot going on here. Trust me, I've played this matchup a lot, but I know how this interaction goes.
Sitting back and blocking it, making sure he avoids it properly. Ooh, stuffs.
Got a little bit lucky there with the timing. I think I could have punished this more. I haven't played VT2 Birdies in a long time. Veggie doesn't really use VT2 in this matchup, so I'm pretty sure if he does EX Bullhead activate on block with VT2, I'm pretty sure this is like fairly punishable, like with a medium or something. But I suddenly had a brain fart and couldn't remember how punishable it was, so I basically just pressed jab and then gave up.
Oh, that was nasty.
Alright, That mix-up was cheap. That mix-up was cheap. I'll be honest. I was kind of proud of this one. Put out the V-skill too. Dash through it to force him out of block stun. Forward jump to make it look like I'm switching sides. And then flip backwards at the last second. So it stays same side and he gets hit by the V-skill that's still coming.
Oh, that was nasty, bro.
The no mix-up mix-up.
For real. Shout out to IFC Yipes.
Yeah, you can't even see the fireball on the screen when you get hit.
Oh my.
That's a kind of a cheap game-ending mix-up.
I ain't seen that one.
I don't know if Hikaru what he plays on, but his wrist, his thumbs, his ankles, everything got broken right there.
My man said you got discombobulated. Oh my.
Get opened up in neutral.
Bubblegum's out again. This is a very good position for it as well, but
I was lucky to escape the corner here. I went for the Hail Mary double jump. It worked out, but it's kind of risky against Birdie.
You don't want to hold those plus frames. You're just going to have to V-reversal. Oh, he's gonna have to
Oro bad, by the way.
Tengu there as well.
I never said that.
Now is the corner. Ooh, it's the throw. We got a tech right afterwards, and now the
And that's it.
pushback puts him at perfect range to get
I
the
feel
Hikaru
across the LCQ, my Tengu usage wasn't very good.
I mean, Broski looks so
You'll see there that I activated and then whiffed throw.
like he was ready for the trade. He didn't get some of the optimal trade combos he was looking for, but still.
I tend to panic and rush my timing a little bit in high stakes environments. So although I get the hit in a lot of matches with Tengu, it's not very like convincing. It looks like I'm just flailing with buttons. Which I mean, that is Tengu stones to an extent. Like, don't get me wrong, Tengu is kind of just flail buttons and hope for the best. But anyway, so I win the first game reasonably convincingly. He switches to poison, but at this point I'm already fairly confident that I'm going to win the match because having a one-game advantage with Oro, given what an unpredictable and explosive character he is very, very vital. If he had started with poison, I think I would have had a very low chance of winning this set. But having a buffer of one game, I was thinking to myself at this point, I'm probably going to lose at least one of the next two games. But even if I can just win one and force it to be 1-1 against poison, then I win the set. So eventually the coin flips have to kind of work out in my favor. So I was just glad that I had like one game of breathing space if the first game was a wash with poison.
The humbleness is always a nice trait, you feel me? But it's also usually a sign of someone that does a lot of work. You know what I mean?
He also used an odd V-skill choice here. He picked V-skill 1 poison, which is something that I don't have a whole lot of experience against. It's kind of a... I don't think it's a very good V-skill, but I do think it'll catch you out if you've never seen it before. The only thing I really know about poison V-skill 1 that is my only real counter to it is it cannot hit you if you crouch. That is basically all I know about it. The temptation is when you see her swinging towards you to stand block because it looks like it's going to be an overhead. But it can't actually hit you when she's like swinging on the rope if you crouch. The only exception to that is if you have like a forced standing frame like on Wake Up. If she does it as a meaty, it can hit you crouching. But any other situation, if she does it in neutral, just hold down back, wait for her to fly over your head, and then punish.
Maybe I don't put in as much work, but often those players put in more work than 99% of everybody else. Right.
Poison V-skill 1 is legit. Boosts all her damage in exchange for Oki. Yeah, but this is Street Fighter 5. That's the worst trade-off ever. There's the V-skill 1. It's good for punishing fireballs as well. I'm pretty sure in Street Fighter 5 you always want to prioritize Oki over damage. So there it is. This is like what I was relying on. So I see the V-skill come out. Your like lizard brain instinct when you see this V-skill, I think for a lot of people, is to stand block. But if you just crouch, she just sails over your head. Unfortunately, because Oro has a down-up charge reversal, I can just wait while charging down back until she's behind me and then DP. And that covers for pretty much every option. This was kind of nice, by the way. Side switch back into the corner off the anti-air. I think this sequence bodied me. I got opened up by a lot of mix-ups here. This is Zona pressure, by the way. All my years of playing Dhalsim coming back to haunt me right now as I get rushed down by poison. So I got kind of bodied that round, but it was within my expectations. I was expecting to drop at least a few rounds to poison.
If the guy don't know, know you can rock it.
Yeah, most definitely. And you see right there, just gets stuffed, right? Hikaru definitely looking for this V-skill one a lot. It helps.
So the V-skill 1 is a good fireball punish, but it's also not like guaranteed. It's not like a brain dead fireball punish. So I knew that he was going to try and use it to get through the fireball here. So normally I would put out the V-skill and then back up and throw a second fireball, but I was decided to follow this one in to see what he would do. And it worked out because, yeah, I just anti-ed with forward medium punch and get a full juggle there.
It helped him in the first round, but Broski might have that adjustment ready now. Not even going to use the V reversal.
To shimmy him there, but it's not working. Yeah, he's been resolute because he's got the health to take a throw, but he read that situation. And that's what I was talking about.
That's a nice combo.
If he double jumps there, you get proper conversions there. Really stylistic ones.
Broski popping off though. Still in good position.
Can we? I want to start calling this the Broski special, by the way. Forward medium punch into delayed heavy Tatsu because I fucking suck at single hit confirming and having it work out like this. I do this all the time. Like, it should be illegal how often this works. Everyone gets hit by it. I feel like the better you are at Street Fighter, the more mental damage it does. Yeah. Like, obviously a lot of the time it messes me up because people just punish. They block and punish, but it does catch a lot of people out. So yeah, so once again, same punish again. I don't know if this... I'm not sure what this was. Like, he whiffed a bunch of throws here. I don't know if this was some sort of messed up frame kill situation. But he tried to do another meaty V-skill 1, but this one wasn't timed properly. So I literally just waited and... Getting, like, a complete reversal of corner control against Poison is so important. So, like, I feel like this moment was basically the turning point of the whole match. I went from getting my shit pushed in by Poison to having corner control and Oki. So this was a good situation to be in. He dropped a lot of combos here. I got lucky. I hadn't thought about this, but I got really lucky here. Like, this is like a guaranteed punish. This should have been stand fierce, medium flip, stand jab, heal. But he looked, maybe it's like matchup unfamiliarity. I don't know if he's got much experience against Oro, but that like punish should definitely have been the end of my life. So I raw activate Tengu, and yeah, I just do stuff. I have a feeling that he tried to wake up Super here. There was a counter hit here. I'm not certain what he went for after the back throw, but I was quite concerned about Poison doing wake up Super. I feel like he might have gone for it and missed input, but it worked out. So that's, at this point, I'm out of pools in winners, and